Hello everyone, Ellen here, and today we're going to be painting some simple Santa Christmas cards. I know people have been asking about how to do the Santas, and so I show you how to draw them, and then I show you how I paint this tutorial. If you're a Patreon member, you have a traceable download that you can download and just trace it from there. If you're not a Patreon member, go check it out. There's a link in my description box in my About page. I do exclusive tutorials there weekly, and I have traceables that go at YouTube. Also, don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know my tutorial's up. And check out my amazing art channel. That's the acrylic channel. You can see that on my on the right hand side of my page in my YouTube channel. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, and let's get started. Okay guys, to get started, I'll go with my supplies. I have 2 pieces of that B cotton watercolor paper. I just fold it in half, and that would be my card. This fairly inexpensive on Amazon. I have a link in the description box that you can buy and find out where the paper is. Otherwise, just use the paper you have. If you have expensive paper, just take off this little piece here, like that size. It's a 4.5 by 6, and just tape it on another piece of paper, like a cheaper, craft paper, and that would work too. I have my paints over here, my water jars, my paper towel, my paintbrushes, my palette. I go with that. So I have a traceable on Patreon that you could download. Voila, if you're a Patreon. If not, I can show you basically how to draw simple Santas. It's fairly easy. Here's my marker here. I always tell people, if you can't draw, just think of shapes. So the big Santa, rectangle for his hat, right? Half moon, bigger half moon for his face. A little round nose, little eyes, rectangles, little mouth. The hat kind of go like that. You're going to do half moon, but wait a minute, come down and do the ball. And then the bird, I talk about this all the time. So you get the circle, little half moon, right? Then you go in rectangle, bump, 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 beak, triangle, legs, and voila, you have that guy. For the other one, similar Santa. Let me just go on that one. That's a little vignette kind of Santa. So I basically tell you the triangle again for his little head, triangle for the hat, half moon, another half moon. His body, it's a line that's kind of angling outward, down, down, across. You guys can draw a square, another square inside, line, 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 line. Legs, line, 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 line. Another rectangle. And then the feet, curve, curve. Bring the curve back, line, 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 line. There's his little feet. See? And then the hand, curve line, follow that curve line, rectangle. Then you're going to do kind of like a half moon for the hand. Same thing here, curve line, down. And the bag is pretty easy, just kind of like make a bag like that. But then come out here, and he's holding it. So I just did this swooping line up here. And then a tree. Come on, guys, you can do trees. I just made generic looking trees, I'll make this easy. This is supposed to be super easy. I know you guys could do that. And then the same thing with the guy. You don't have to put, I didn't put the eyebrows in this one, but, and then for snowflakes, you could put snowflakes around here. See, line, line, crisscross, little dots. You can get real technical with the snowflake and go like that. And then you get like that. So if I'm drawing too fast, you can slow the speed down on YouTube and do it that way. So we'll start with the little vignette one first. La 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 la. I just unfolded it, put it down. And basically we're going to do reds and greens, and you could do whatever you want. Blues in the background. I'm not going to paint the whole entire, this other one over here, sorry. The whole entire scene. You can do that. You can fill in the whole background. Just be a very long tutorial, and then use whatever reds you have. Since I don't actually have a bright red, I'll mix up my magenta, which is very bright. I show you guys all the time. So this is how you can save some paint colors if you want to just get a few good ones. The cadmium yellow deep, and it makes a nice bright red. I have my Princeton 8 long round, and I have my Princeton 4 long round brush. Grab some more of this yellow. I'm not looking too pinky, and I don't look too yellow orange. So, you know, it's a tinier picture than the other one, so you might want to grab the small one that had the Princeton number 4. It's got a great belly and a long pointy tip. And you're just going to fill in his little outfit. Just, you know, his body is red. This paper has a fairly good bleed to it. It's not going to be like Arches, but you're making a card. You're not making some beautiful portrait, you know, and it's, I think it's like $14 or maybe $20, I don't know, for like 20 sheets. It's pretty inexpensive. I got my paper, and this is like the last 2 sheets I have from Michael's. It was on a closeout. I bought a bunch of them and I've gone through them. But Amazon has it, and I think it was pretty cheap for what it was. And, you know, it's a pretty thick. I don't know if it'll be the same postage for sending this, because it's kind of thick. But, you know, if you want to send a really nice card, that's what you're going to do. So we're just filling in his little body. All the red parts. See? Whee! This is so easy. Just fill them all in. La la la. I've been watching Hallmark Channel like crazy, and people are like, how can you watch this on Thanksgiving? Because I'm like, it puts me in my happy place. You know, I was never a big like hoopla fan, but I love that show because I just can't deal with the TV and what's going on in the world. It's so depressing, so sad. My heart goes out to any family who's been, you know, affected by this horrible disease. So I don't think anyone who has passed on want us to feel sad. We need to move on and feel happy, bring joy to the world. I know it sounds cliche and stupid, but seriously, you gotta have hope. I mean, so depressing. Just so depressing. So I've turned on the Hallmark Channel. It's the happy place for me. It's nothing but happy there. And maybe you need to do that for a while. Be owning that space that makes you happy. So I just filled it in. Like I said, if this paper is pretty good with the bleed. So if you want to grab a little darker red, I've got this crimson over here. I'm going to add some of the yellow. I'm going to make a deeper red. The Prussian blue. Ugh, it's making a mess. Just trying to make it a tad bit darker. It doesn't want to cooperate. This is the story of my life this week. Yesterday I was kind of offline a lot. I wasn't feeling good yesterday, but I'm feeling much better today. Just stomach stuff, probably stress. Yep. Okay, and in 30 days, my Marine comes home, my big boy. I'm so excited. Okay, so I see how I just put that little bit of, like, while it's still damp, just a darker tone, if you wanted to put a darker tone in the corners of the hat. And it's just going to make it look a little more 3D if you want to do that. And then under here, you don't have to do that. I mean, it looks so cute without it, right? But it's just like you want to get a little more advanced. You might go like, oh, I want to make this more advanced. You add in the shadows. You add in the little darker elements. But seriously, it doesn't need it. That's why I say it's easy to do this. So choose to do it or choose not to do it. That is the question. All right, moving on. We're just going to hit those trees. I've got this olive green, the very bright, pretty green. And actually, I told you guys, I didn't even realize. All this time I thought I had watercolor olive green. It's gouache, but you use it like watercolor. So I got the two versatile, you know. If you want to just buy gouache and whip it around like this, like watercolor, then you have two birds, one stone. Because then when you want to make it really opaque, you have the gouache to go for it. Not the acrylic gouache. The acrylic gouache is kind of like acrylic paint. So I'm just going to fill in this tree. Now you don't have to make it like the stoic lines like this. You can actually make it more of a realistic type of tree. See, I'm going to use like a little brush and go up like that. I don't know if I want to make it, but you could make it really kind of cute illustrated type of tree. I would say that's more decorative, illustrated, the way I drew it. And I'm going to get my other brush because it's just getting too small for me to handle. I like bigger brushes. And why I like them, because it makes you looser. See, now I can just throw that in, the green. This is my paint is a little too loose for my comfort, but you guys can play around with the water content on yours. This paper is really good. if you had a cheaper paper, it wouldn't work as well holding that green. I'm going to be painting over by the arm, so be careful not to hit that red. And the bag, of course, would be like a brown or whatever color you want to make it. It doesn't have to be brown, actually. It could be a green bag. But if you want to get technical about sand. Now, if you just feel uncomfortable getting too close to the arm, you can leave a white space in between the arm. Let me zoom a little bit. And the tree, and that will look just as cute. Again, while it's still wet, you can go in and add some deeper green, deeper tone. Just hit that like that on the edges. You can just tap it in too. Be kind of cute. See, it's not moving around, so I just clean off my brush and just kind of push that paint around. If you're finding the paint just sitting there, you're going to have to manipulate it a little bit. Just move it around. But again, you don't have to do it this way. Don't get bogged down about me painting my tree my way. Do it your way. Seriously, people. Don't worry about the way I'm painting it. Paint the tree the way you want to paint it. So we got the bag there. Obviously, that's going to be like a little brown. I got the Van Dyke brown here. I'll just throw the brown one real quick. And he's holding the bag in the little hand coming through. So that part will be black. You can paint black on top of anything. So if you mess up with the brown bag and it's going over the hand, don't worry about it, because you're going to paint the black over it. And again, I'm going to add some deeper tones to the edge here. See, it's kind of wet, so it's kind of bleeding, kind of funky. This paper has a fairly good bleed, not the best. Then I can add a little brown to the tree trunk. I think this year we're going to try and actually go into a Christmas tree farm. I think I want to do that. I want to help the people in the small businesses. It's probably going to be more expensive than going to like a Lowe's or Home Depot, but I feel like if you can afford it, help those people out who need it, because this world has got a lot of people hurting, and some people are hurting and they're not spending money, so those other people will suffer. Okay, enough of my soapbox. I'm going to have some blue to his beard, the white part, and I have this peacock blue, but I'm going to add a little magenta, make it more like an ultramarine type blue. If you have ultramarine, then you're good to go. I added some Prussian too. I didn't like the blue. I'm trying to want to make it more like an ultramarine, but really fairly pale. So it's very loose. And I get it off. So if you get the color really loose, and then I just tap in paper towel to get the excess water off, and then I go and just make a little blue on his beard and the hat. Now you could have used a different color blue. Like I was thinking, I don't know if I like that blue. Could make it more of a turquoisey kind of blue, which is kind of fun. And you can add that, whatever blue you like. See, I'm just adding it to the edges a little bit here and there. On the edge here, on the hat here, on the edge, and a little ball thing on top. There's little cuffs. Getting a little technical with the little teeny cuffs there. Okay, that's about it. For his face, you know, make every color of skin you want to make. Could be, you know, cream color, could be yellowish, could be brown, whatever. You know, it's all multicolored Santa. Santa is every ethnicity. So I'm going to do a typical generic one that they always talk about. I'm trying to get the skin color. It's tricky. It's like red with yellow. Pretty watered down. Just mess up this mess. So skin color for a Caucasian would be a little bit yellow, kind of like a blush, a little more yellow. You got to play around with it. and then get it really watered down. Add a touch of brown. Test it on your paper towel. That's looking a little too orangey, right? A little more cream color. Got to play around with it. Yeah. Okay, add a little more yellow, a little more brown. I'll get there. Just gonna make this really pale. So a lot of water, but I dap paper towel, see that? To get that water up. So there we go. And when that dries, I can add a little pink cheek to it. And there's a little face. Grabbing a little brush again, I'm going to go in and grab black or Payne's gray, whatever you have. You make all the colors to make black. And see, I'm dabbing off the excess water. You get his little feet. Just like that. And we didn't do the belt buckle. This is going to be yellow on the outside of that, and of course black. Make sure that red's dry before you hit around his belt. And like I said, see, I have a little white hanging around here. It's not touching the edge completely. That's fine too. Do both. And of course, his mitten here. See the big thumb? And then put the little black underneath. Like it's holding it. And here's a little mitten here. Voila. Just play around with adding that. See, my black's a little off here. Now, this is cute as it is. And then we don't have to do like, okay, we're going to add the blue to the snow a little bit out here. Woohoo. Where the lines, I have the trace there. I still see the pencil line, but that's fine. I'll just keep it there. I don't care. You know, and I'm adding the blue shadow. You can add a little shadow where the bag is. You don't have to. The trees, make them decorative. If you want to have, add some dark green elements. You could do the little swipe of the, you know, let me get a scrap piece to show you. I don't want to wreck the tree yet. You can make it realistic just by going like that. See the brush? Just taking a little motion, going like that. You could add in Christmas balls and all that. Or you can do, see, this is a little dry. You can just do polka dot trees. You can do plaid trees. You can have fun. So I'm going to add, just like making plaid trees. Why not? Not in the sketch. See, I'm throwing you a curveball. I'm thinking, why not? Let's make the trees different. Who says they have to be realistic? I don't. So see how I'm just doing two lines curved going upward like this. And then you do the opposite. Leaving space in between. So this would be considered more of an illustration. It's just fun. It's not supposed to be serious. The Santa doesn't have to have a serious outfit either. He could have a plaid outfit. He can wear pajamas. You know, we can go in and take his little hat, the darker red, and we can do the plaid on his hat. Nothing wants to cooperate with me today, I swear to God. Same thing we did with the tree. Do with the hat. See, my little sketch doesn't show that. I throw curveballs on you guys. All right, do a little dark down here. That dries, I will go and put the yellow buckle in. Meanwhile, I'm gonna just take some pink, whatever red you have, really water it down. Put in the little cheek. See, a little cheek. And then grab the red from the red nose. And then just, you can use a marker if you don't want to use a paintbrush, if you're afraid to do the little teeny eyes. Wah. but you can use a marker. You don't have to do that. But isn't he cute? So you can have a hand up and you can be writing up here, hello, you know, because if he's going to give it to somebody, miss you, wish I could be with you during this horrible year. Oh my God. Can't even think about it. You know, they're like, oh, don't let anybody in your house. I'm like, listen, my Marine's coming home. I don't care. He's coming in this house, and he's and he's gonna be hugged. And you know, I'm not gonna live my life that freaked out. They've been quarantined in the base anyway. No, there's no cases on his base, so I know he's gonna be on a plane and everything, but I don't care. Haven't seen my boy in a year. I'm gonna hug him. You do what you gotta do, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna hug our boy. So that's the little Santa guy. You can tweak it, whatever, but you get this. You get it, guys. Add snowflakes, don't add snowflakes. Moving on to the other guy. I already sketched him out. I might remove some of the sketch here. I'm gonna work with a bigger brush. And this is gonna see much easier because it's a bigger volume of space to paint than the little one. But again, the same premise. Let me fix this a little bit. We got the red. I'm gonna mix up some more red. Red hat. Just fill that in. This might be a faster, easier one to paint if you're in a rush and you're like, I don't have much time. This is a really easy one to paint. So you're going to fill this in with the red color that you have. And this would be much easier to control, adding in some deeper tones. So now that I have that crimson, like I said, it's not going to bleed the same as the arches. So you'll notice that, you know, if you want to bleed like an arches piece of paper, you're going to have to paint on that. And that's when I suggest you just paint just a piece of paper, and then you could just put it on another cardstock, maybe a nice color green, gold, whatever. See, I'm adding just the darker tones, all just to the edges, just to give it that little oomph. And the beard again, just gonna grab some paint. Ugh, the color messed up. Sorry guys. So I'm grabbing my peacock and I'm mixing a little green with that to make it a little more turquoisey. Not cooperating. Mix whatever blue you have. Again, we can just do that light pale blue just on the edge of the beard. This one's really simple. Oh goodness, I have too many things going on here. See, I make mistakes, and I'm just gonna get my water, grab it real quick. It's a little red in there. That's all right. Stuff happens. So I'm just gonna grab that blue again. Now I gave him a mouth. You don't have to do that. So a little pink here. Kind of looks like he has a mustache, but that's all right. Just gonna fade in this blue in here on the edges here. And then on the ball, pom-pom, make it a little deeper. And then the hat. See, we're just doing the same thing, just a little blue. Don't touch that red. You'll make that mistake I did where it bleeds a little bit. You can go in and add like an outline with a little black. I'll show you in a bit, just to blow it up a little bit. Gonna have to let this dry before I start going into the face, because then it's gonna bleed. And so the bird, he could be red again, he could be blue. We'll do another blue bird. People like the blue birds I did. I was kind of shocked actually, but they were cute. So maybe that's why. Did I not show how to draw the blue bird? I will show that. I think I did. Yes, I did. I'm sorry, guys. Menopausal brain. So fill in the blue areas with your brush. You can add some deeper blue. Make him stand out. I'm just bleeding in some of the darker blue right on the edge. Like I said, this paper doesn't really bleed as well, so you might have to manipulate it. So I just cleaned up my brush, and now I'm just pushing that darker blue around just a little bit, and here. Now we're going to have to wait till that dries to put in the scarf. This should be fairly dry. And so I had the little eyebrows. Just fill those in with a little blue outline. And I think I still have that. Try and save the colors you have for the skin tones if you can. This is still looking a little strange. Okay. Gonna really water it down. Just fill in that skin tone that you want. Gonna go right over the nose that I drew because it's gonna be much darker. So watercolor, dark over light, acrylic and gouache, you can do light over dark. Give more flexibility with acrylic and gouache, less with watercolor. So I just fill it in. I'm gonna have to wait till that dries. This paper really soaks up pretty fast, so you know, you can try and work a little faster. Let's see, that's kind of dry. I can go in and make the scarf. I think I'll make the scarf a nice pretty green. There's not much green in this one, so let's add some green. This little scarf. And I drew this simple stripes for the sketch, and you want to keep it easy, do that. So I'm just going to go there, fill that in. I'm going to grab my smaller brush, and I can paint his little legs. Wee, wee. Oh, blow it up to the little blue a little bit. The blue was still wet. That's okay. You just lift up the paint with the brush. Go back in. Add the blue. That looks fine. The red, you could make a, you know, like I said, you don't have to keep just solid red. You can go in and add a deeper stripe if you wanted to, or plaid. I might do a stripe. Let's make it crazy. Oops. See, another darker color red. Just change it up a bit. In a solid red hat. So this is still kind of wet. I want to dry it and come back. Okay, so it's dried. I can go in and add the red nose. If you want to leave a little halo, which is just a little white area on the nose. Just like that. You can add in the dark green stripe to the bird scarf. So I'm trying to make this pretty simple. And do the little lines coming down as this little phrase. You put in the triangle nose, very simple. Yellow triangle nose. Add the eye. Do the eyes for Santa. Simple eyes. Here's a little mouth. He's a happy Santa. Now, like I said before, look at the black, so, or gray. Just take a little bit of it, not too much, and just do the little lines like so. See? Up here. So you can see the distinction of the face and the beard. Just like that. And his pom-pom. If you don't want to do that, it's fine also. It just helps a little bit. That's fairly easy Santa, right? And we can go back in to the other one. And tweak whatever we have here. We have the little belt to tweak. If you want to do the same thing with the line here. So I'm just going to add a little teeny line. You can still see my pencil lines, and that works just as well also. Just a little with the tip of your brush. Just tap it, especially around the little teeny tiny areas. And like I said, you can add snowflakes, whatever, you know, just nice little pretty blue. Let me see here, I got a nice blue going here. Snowflakes. I showed you how to draw those. Simple ones. La la la. The trees could have a star, and you know, like I said, they could have decorative ornament on there. You can put glitter on everything. Go to town. Write whatever you want. And that's just a simple, I mean, because people had asked about simple Santa cards. And again, his eyebrows, you can't see them, so we're going to take the gray or black, and I'm going to go under and around. And get, you know, fancy if you want. Like I said, the hat can be a buffalo check, a check. Who knows, after this tutorial I might change it up, and so when you see the picture on the on the feed, it would be different. But play around with it. Add a little more blue. Shadow here. See, I'm just add a little darker blue shadow. That's how I tweak things. The bird, and maybe a little more on the ball and the hat. You just play around with all that. It's gonna look cute, trust me. See my little deeper blues. This is really simple Santa. Okay, so I've decided that I'm just gonna add in a darker color in the background because I feel like it's just too white. So you didn't have to paint the blues if you didn't want to, but I'm going to add in a deeper, deeper tone blue. And then with this, you can just add some nice little snowflakes. Of course, you want to wait till everything dries before you go ahead and do something like this. Ooh. I just feel like it needed it. It was looking a little too pale. That's the word. So you're going to be tricky around the bird. You might have to leave a little white space around him, just so you don't wreck him. Just be careful. So I'm showing you if you wanted to do it, if you didn't want to do it. How you go about painting around it. So I painted around him without disturbing him too much. Still seeing the bird, still seeing the colors. Getting in the deeper tones of this blue. And that's what happens. You can assess, like when you're painting something, oh, I needed something else. And I just feel like it needed that dark color ground to really make that Santa pop out. He wasn't really popping out. He was kind of hanging in, right? He was kind of like, oh, I'm here, whatever. He wasn't showing off his Santa-ness, if you want to call it that. So I would just go ahead, carefully paint in. If you know at the beginning that you want to do this, you might want to mask in the birdie. See how carefully I'm painting around him. And that way, you know, you just wash over the color. But I took my time and it was fine. And smooth out this area. And then of course when this dries, we can go in and add some nice snow. and embellishments if you want to do that. So once he's dry, you can just take your white gouache, if you have some white gouache, or a white gel pen, and just add the snow. Just tap it in. La la la. You can make snowflakes instead of just doing the little dots, but this is supposed to be easy, so trying to make it really easy. And we're just going to tap in some pretty snow. La, 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 la. And try and make it uneven. Don't make it the perfect little dots. And see how I do clusters here and there, and then I don't. Looks a little more, not more realistic, but not so goofy. And there's your Santa, number 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know my tutorials are up, because they're sporadic, unfortunately, sorry. And also don't forget, if you're a Patreon member, to download the traceable that goes with this. I have, if you're not a Patreon member, you should go check it out. I have a link in my description box in my About page. And the Patreons get exclusive, if you're on the mid-tier and up, you get exclusive tutorials with traceables every Thursday. The lower tier just gets the traceables. So, you know, check it out. And the top tier gets all that. And every month, a painting that I design that is a PDF that you can print out and use for personal use. You can print it on a canvas or something and put it in your house. So I do that. And I often ask people, like, what is it you want this month? And maybe yours will get picked. So check it out. Thanks so much, guys, for coming to my channel. I hope you guys have a safe and, you know, great day, and take care, and I'll speak to you soon.